Hello, I'm doing a video on the 2026 Honda Passport in all its glory. Actually, just a couple of things I wanted to come across on a video on that because I have not seen it on any other video. This is an awesome car. I love it. I've put some miles on there. It's almost had it for a month. This is basically just going to touch base on some of the stuff that it's near perfect, but there is a couple of things, especially if you are pulling a trailer or a camper or anything like that, just to be wary. First off, the trailer hitch is a seven pin trailer hitch. As you can see right there, it's the round plug deal. It does not have electronic braking. And the other thing is too, if you are going to pull something with the four pin or a 6 pin, you need to get an adapter like this, and this basically just plugs right in, and then you can use that. They did give you a wiring harness with it for the actual electronic brake mechanism. It's basically kind of like a plug and play almost. I'll get you inside. It's getting a little warm out here. Whew. Start this up. You also get a nice little splash display when you get in, and of course, warning. So this right here, sometimes when you first get in, this will actually populate. This will actually run up and down, which I can't figure out why it does that. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it don't. I don't know if it's a glitch or anything like that, but it seems like if I get a lot of text messages or something like that, this will actually start freaking out. It'll start just doing this, going up and down real quick. You can kind of see it's flashing right now. It's just that because of the speed of the camera, you're getting that. Back over here on this display, what I have discovered is sometimes when you can see right now it's in seatbelt. If I put my seatbelt on, I'll show you right now and demonstrate, you get a green signal letting you know that it is good. When you drive away, it's supposed to switch back to whatever you have actual current. So like if you have the range or you have like the time or navigation, it's supposed to activate. It doesn't do it, well, at least for this car, it doesn't do it all the time. Sometimes it just gets stuck in the seatbelt deal, even though it is, I have my seatbelt on, and it'll remain like that. I've driven this probably about up to 60 miles an hour. I think it's supposed to switch back to whatever you have it originally set at after a few minutes, but I've actually had it on the entire time going all the way home. And I actually had to switch this over to what I had it on. Another thing is too, if you are running a trailer, that's where these electronic shift system, it's questionable. Especially if you are on a hill or if you're on a boat ramp. When you shift, let's say for instance, once you get your boat in the water, or if you're, especially even more so when you're pulling your boat out of the water. We all know, we put your foot on brake, put it in drive, and then as soon as you take your foot off to put it on the gas pedal to go, the car has a tendency to roll back just a little bit, depending on your weight and also how steep the boat ramp is. The problem is that once this car or this vehicle rolls back a couple of inches or so, before the torque kicks in and actually is able to pull it out, it will actually automatically shift into park. I had this happen the very first time when I have a little kayak trailer, and I had a steep boat ramp that I was dropping them in. I could not take the kayaks out of the water just because of, I couldn't figure out why this would always kick into the parking. And the problem is when it kicks in the parking, it's not like a soft, it actually hits really hard. I don't know if it's going to mess up the transmission or the locking mechanism for your tires and that, but just keep in mind. What I found out is I have to keep my foot on the brake, shift it to drive, and then accelerate, and then slowly release the brake pedal, just so that the vehicle does not roll back and be able to pull out my kayaks or boat, if for that matter. So just keeping in mind with that. If the car does roll backwards, for some reason it automatically switches to the parking, and you could possibly damage the gearing or the locking mechanism for the tires. Trail mode. So another thing is that I found out. So if you happen to be backing up, jet skis or whatever it is, you really need to be in trail or tow mode. The reason being is because of all the sensors on the back of the vehicle. What happens is that it detects the stuff that you have that are on the actual trailer as a possible threat, and actually lock the brakes in up to a certain speed. When you switch it into tow mode, it's supposed to, and I'll do that right now. There you go. You can see the two icons that will actually populate up there. There you go. The sensors for parking and also for collision. But that is only good up to a certain amount of speed. It'll actually engage again. I've gotten really used to backing in boats and backing in trailers and all that stuff. Up to a certain speed, that's good, but I'm a little bit more experienced, so I go a little bit faster, and what happens is that same brake system will actually engage and slam on the brakes, thinking that you might be in a collision. They really need to put like something over here, which is a button that will actually completely kill out all those sensors in the back, and specifically made it just for trailering for those situations, because there's a couple of times where it scared me, where I thought I crashed into somebody, and I go to run out of the car thinking that I might have backed into something, and there was nothing there. So keep that in mind. Other than that, one other pet peeve that I have is, of course, the charging pad. This is absolutely kind of like useless. It's good if you weren't using your Android Auto or whatever, because what happens is when you use the Android Auto and the iPhone version of Android Auto, it requires your phone to be able to communicate back and forth, which you're running your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, and of course your processing power on your phone to be able to transmit all that stuff. This charging pad does not apply enough power for most phones to be able to run all that stuff. It might keep it at, let's say for instance, if your phone was at like 50%, it will pretty much keep it at 50% for the duration of the trip. Maybe you might get a little bit more of a charge depending on what you have running on your phone or not, but it's better just to come in and actually just plug it into the first plug here. Another thing is too, that I guess these cars now are all going to the Type C interface, so just be wary. I had to get an adapter for mine to be able to plug it in. And last and final, I am still rocking, unfortunately, the iPod Nano. Now, I have a lot of songs on there, and then sometimes in certain areas, if I don't get internet or the digital signals and stuff like that, I run Pandora music. It cuts out, so then I'll switch over to my Nano. Now, I don't know if they have an update or anything like that, but this will not actually talk to the actual system on your car. You can connect it through the Bluetooth, and it'll be able to run the audio through the Bluetooth through your Nano. However, you cannot be able to go into the menu on your Nano and actually select, like if you have playlists or anything like that. It does not do that. You can skip or reverse it once you're in that playlist manually on your Nano. You can go forward, you can go back and that, but you just can't go into another playlist of yours unless you actually do it from the actual Nano itself. I had an 2018 Honda CR-V. That actually integrated flawlessly. You can get into the menu and all that stuff in that, but for some reason the new systems now don't actually have anything for it. And what you'll get is it'll connect for a second and then disconnect. So just keep that in mind for all the old school users and stuff like that, that you're going to have some issues with the connection. Other than that, I have not discovered anything else that that is kind of buggy or flawless. Driving this thing has been a great. The tires that are on here, you hardly hear any of the road noise. Another thing is let me kick back on the sunroof. They finally got it right with the sunroof. This little guy right here is a must for anybody that's running a sunroof, because of the fact that if you're in high speed, like if you're doing 70, 60 miles an hour, this diffuses a lot of that air and quiets down the interior car. My 2018 Honda CR-V did not have that, and it was noisy as heck. So at 45 miles an hour and above, it would whistle and howl and everything else. Now with this, I can travel comfortably without ever having to hear that noise. Going back over here, one other thing is the speed sensitivity on this. This actually has a sensor on there for if it's raining harder, it'll actually engage the windshield wipers. The biggest problem that I've actually found with that is when you go in that first mode and you can adjust whatever speed is that you want. When you adjust it to a certain back and forth. However, with the speed sensor, sometimes it lags out a little bit. So like, let's say for instance, if you're parked at a light or whatever, it doesn't transition from the speed to the actual this thing too well, so that your windshield will actually sit or the windshield wipers will actually sit there at a light and not go back and forth. Even if you adjust it to the highest setting, they'll sit there, and then your windshield will be like completely covered with rain, raindrops and everything, until you actually start to accelerate. Then it'll actually wipe, which it should be wiping all the time. But I don't know if it's just this car or if anybody else has had that experience. So just keep in mind that this right here is a little wonky, especially the traditional ones that didn't have the rain sensing system on there. It does not 100% work the way I would like it. If I want to adjust whatever, how much and how little the windshield wipers go, they should leave it at that and not interfere with the thing. They should have one more notch on there, that if I wanted to do it with the speed sensitive driving and the rain thing and that, they should have another another notch on this to be able to just leave it in there, kind of like your lights, like an auto feature where you put it in there and forget, and not mess with this part, because I can never get it right to where, like, how much rain is coming down, and to be able to constantly work at that level, or work at that speed, I should say. Yeah, great car. You can see I put some miles on this thing, so I've already put it through a lot of the pace. I'm getting so this is like on tollway, and this is also rural, I guess you want to call it. I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but that is my average fuel consumption right now. This is driving in between 75 and 80, and then also down to about 35 and 40 miles an hour. So wide range of driving, and that's what I am actually getting right now. So other than that, beautiful interior, lots of space. I can't complain other than that. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope that before you make your purchase, you kind of understand what's going on if you're buying this specifically for off-roading and trailering and stuff like that too as well. Oh, and then Let's see, did I bring it in? I don't think I have it. Yeah, there we go. Actually, no, that's not it. So I don't have, I was going to show you guys the adapter that they give you with the vehicle for if you ever do put in a electronic brake system. And that it's just there's a little thing underneath here that it'll actually connect into there, and then you run the cables into the thing, making it a seamless integration for a electronic braking system as you can get. All right, well, catch you guys later.